Hey guys, so I wanted to go ahead and be the first to make a video typing project so that maybe some of you guys will make one too, because I think it would be really fun to see everybody's stuff. And as you can see, I didn't get all dolled up for this, so please don't feel like you have to either, okay? Um, and excuse me, the other thing I would suggest is like if you haven't already, like if you don't already know your type or you're not sure, like I think it would be better to go ahead and like make the video, answer your questions, and then come back and see mine so that my influences or my answers don't influence you. Okay, so that's just my suggestion. Take it if you'd like or not. All right, so I'm gonna read these. I haven't really read them that carefully before and answer them. What aspect of my personality made me unsure of my type? I'm not. I've always been pretty sure of my type, like since I discovered it, although I got typed as an ENFP sometimes. Um, like I'm obviously not an ENFP, but I kind of acted more like one when I was younger. Uh, I don't think anyone could really doubt what type I am. So, moving on. Number two, what do I yearn for in life and why? Okay. Um, I don't have a ton of yearnings. It used to be kind of freedom, like not being where I was, but that was kind of in large part a result of my circumstances and not feeling like I had any like autonomy over the things that were going on in my life. But then I lived abroad for 5 years, so now it's kind of like, eh, I'm okay, like just chilling at home. I don't need to like explore and be free as much anymore. Um, I would say that the number one thing I yearn for in life is to be a mother. I really want to be a mom and I want to homeschool my kids and I want to like make little brilliant people who have like wonderful experiences in the world, and I don't want to be too like controlling or anything, but I just want to be able to give them everything I know so that when they leave my house at 18 or whatever age that they have all the information that I have at 40 something or what 50, I don't know how old I'll be, but do you know what I mean? Like I just want to squish as much knowledge and information into them as possible so that they can make advances over where I was. That's like to see kids that I taught or kids that I raised go on to become amazing and make a big difference in the world would make me feel like I had succeeded somehow in life. This is going to take forever if I answer each question this in depth. All right. Sit back, relax. I'll try not to be too wordy. It's kind of hard for me. Number three, think about a time where you felt like you were at your finest. Tell us what made you feel that way. I don't have a very good memory. Like especially for positive things. Like whenever someone's like, "What's your happiest memory?" Oh, like yesterday when I ate something good. Like I just don't think about those things that much. Um, when I felt at my finest, it's too hard. Like I can tell you what makes me feel good, which is when I work really hard for something and it turns out the way that I wanted it and expected it to. When I'm right about something that everyone doubted me on, that makes me feel really, really good. And um, when someone says that I made a difference for them or that something I did really helped them, like that really fulfills me and makes me feel good about myself. All right. Excuse me. What makes you feel inferior? Everything. Everything makes me feel inferior, and I'm in a constant state of worry and panic. But specifically, um, I feel inferior when people don't listen to me. They don't care what I think. They don't care my opinions. They um, laugh at me, disrespect me. That really pisses me off when like someone doesn't even treat me with basic respect I would treat anyone. You know, even people I hated, there's like certain things that I would, I would listen to them when they talked or I would, politely excuse myself. But then there's people who will like just total disregard for the people around them. And that, you know, traditionally or like usually I would feel like if they're acting that way to me, I think about like how I would have to feel about someone to act that way to them. Like I would have to really despise this person and not give a fuck about them in order to act the way they're acting. So if they act that way, it makes me feel like they think that about me. Like they think I'm just the worst person in the world. When like personality theories help me understand that not everyone interprets things the way I do. All right. Number 5, what tends to weigh on my decisions? Do I think about people, pros, cons, how I feel about it, etc.? All of my major decisions in life, I just made them and I didn't really think about them. Like after college, I applied for a few different jobs and um, some random forum post on the internet was like, because I had studied Japanese in college, and so I was thinking about teaching in Japan. And some random post was like, hey, Korea's better than Japan. I was like, Korea, okay. And I applied, and I got it, and I was just like, okay, let's do this. Like, I really honestly didn't spend more than an hour. That's like over. Like, I didn't even spend like a minute thinking about it. I was just like, apply, and then I got it. Okay, I probably thought about it for a minute when I got accepted, but I was like, let's just keep going down this path, get my documents ready, everything I need. I can always change my mind, and I just didn't change my mind. So that's how I make my decisions, though. Is it's just like this'll work. Like this'll work for me, and if it doesn't work, I have confidence that I can overcome whatever obstacles and try a new path. Um, Decisions that involve other people are a little harder, but I still basically go with my gut. All right. When working on a project, what is normally your emphasis? Do you like to have control of the outcome? Like, it really depends on what kind of project you're talking about, right? Because, like, if I'm talking about school or something I'm doing for myself, if it's a project I'm starting on myself, I pretty much just don't ever finish it ever. Like, I have literally dozens of half-written songs, on a video camera from like 2010, or I've got a novel that I halfway wrote and then I lost it. Like I just can't finish stuff for myself. But like um if I have to do a project for work or like back when I was in school, I really hate sitting around waiting for other people to get their shit together. So generally what I would do is like delegate tasks, and I would take the one that I saw as most important, and I'd be like, okay, you guys can do the shit. See you later, bye. And I would like go do my part, come back and see if they were done, and if not, I just take over their tasks too. Because I mean, like it would in a lot of cases it was faster for me to do the whole project myself than to wait for other people to like figure out their shit and what they want to do. So yeah, my emphasis is getting it done, meeting all the marks, um, making it look good. Like I really hate if someone has a great poster board for school or something and it's just really ugly. But I'm not like one of those people that like sits for 3 hours and like cuts out shapes and stuff either. I just like make it look cohesive. Describe a time where you had a lot of fun. How was your memory of it? Is it different from question 3? Question 3 was when I felt like I was at my finest. It's different and also just as vague because I don't know what's fun. I guess the most fun I ever had was when I was in college and I went to visit an online pen pal I had in Germany. Well, like, because I was studying abroad in France. And then I'm like rambling. Sorry. I guess you're watching that because you enjoy it. Um, I hopped on a train by myself. I was in France in a study group, but they went to Spain for a weekend, and I hopped on a train and I went to Germany and I met my friend that I'd known for like 5 years and felt really close to. And I just spent the week at his mother's house, and we like walked in the forest and went to his like band's concert outside, and like this like beautiful, we were in Hamburg, and like there was like swans in front of the city hall, and it sounds like I don't know, it was just really beautiful, and it was really nice to be with him, and it just made me feel really independent. That was the first time I'd ever just done anything completely of my own volition, with no one telling me, like, that's what I'm supposed to do. And I felt really, that's probably my best memory. Um, But yeah, details don't exist. Like what I told you is pretty much everything I remember. We ate French fries with mayonnaise, and or like not even mayonnaise, it was like something else. And okay, I'm gonna move on. Um, when you want to learn something new, what feels more natural to you? Are you more prone to be hands-on, to theorize, to memorize, etc.? I hate hands-on shit. Hate it, hate it, hate it, hate it, hate it. Like once I figure out how to do the hands-on thing, then the hands-on thing is worthless. Do you know what I mean? Like if I once I've read the directions on how to do the lab, I don't even need to do the lab. Like just tell me what's gonna happen, and I know it. But if I'm gonna learn, I like languages a lot. So whenever I learn languages, you have to memorize vocabulary. You can't learn vocabulary any other way. So I use programs to help me memorize stuff where it like remembers what you know and what you got wrong, and it like shows it to you again. So for me, it's just like sitting in front of the computer and like getting the flashcards over and over and over, which takes the agency out of it, which is nice. And I love grammar books. I love filling out fucking worksheets and filling in the blank and multiple choice questions. I'm sorry, I just really like it. And I've always felt really insecure because everyone's like, oh, I need to be free. I need to touch it with my hands. And I'm just like, nope, give me a worksheet. Like, that makes me happy. Okay. How organized do I think of myself as? Not organized. Okay, like mentally fairly organized, physically not at all. Like my shit is always just like laying everywhere, and if my fiance didn't live with me and like clean up after me around the house, I would just live in filth, which I did when I lived alone. So I like things to be pretty and nice. I just suck at keeping them that way. Um, but like if I have to make a document or explain something, I can be fairly organized with that. I lost my space. Number 10, how do you judge new ideas? Do you try to understand the principles behind it to see if they make sense, or do you look for information that supports it? When I see a new idea, I'll tell you what I do usually is that new ideas usually come to me from other people, right? So someone will say something that I haven't heard before, and I have to interpret it. And so generally what I do is be like, do I already have an opinion about this? And if I do, like, how much does this new idea conflict with or fit into my opinion? And if it conflicts too much and I don't care about the person who said it, then I'll just be like, fuck it, no, you're wrong. You don't know anything, right? If it's a person I trust or like in the past I've come to believe that they know what they're talking about, I'll usually give it more of a chance. You know, I'll be like, well, that could be true if this idea I already have is not true. And I'll like try to evaluate it that way and see if there's anything in my own opinion that I need to reject in order to accept theirs, and if I'm willing to reject it. And if the new idea doesn't conflict with my idea, then I'll just accept it as true most of the time, or like provisionally true, right? And then it's stored in like the provisional part of my brain, so that if I'm ever like given a contrasting idea, then I can like compare them. But I accept it as true until that point. And if I have it in my provisional area for too long, it like moves into my accepted area at some point. So that's how I judge them. If I'm looking for evidence, I'm only just trying to prove what I already think is true. I very rarely look for evidence in order to try to develop or change my views. I find harmony by making sure everyone is doing fine and belonging to a given group, or by making sure that I follow and believe what I believe and being myself. It's hard to answer these because I already know what they're trying to get at. I find harmony by making everyone chill out and like act the way I want them to act. Like I find harmony by removing negative influences in the environment, and by, if people are bothering me, I have to be by myself, because I can't, if someone's like shooting annoyed vibes everywhere, even if it's not directed at me, if they're just like annoyed about something, I can't be around them because it makes me annoyed, right? So I find harmony either by escaping like into nature, or like taking a bubble bath or something, and just being away from people, or by fixing the people so they're not shooting out vibes. Yeah, okay. Um, am I the kind that thinks before speaking, or do I speak before thinking? That's like Dr. Seuss-esque. Do you prefer one-on-one communication or group discussions? I always think, I always speak first, as you can tell. I always speak first because I can't think unless I say it out loud. Even if I'm like alone at home, I talk to myself. Um, as far as discussion, let me make sure this is still recording. Okay. As far as discussing things, one-on-one or group. The only reason I hate group discussions is because it means I get to talk less and I have to listen more. And I don't want to say I don't like listening because I really do. I just need to, if I have a thought, I need to be able to share it. Do you know what I mean? Like, if someone says something that triggers a thought to me, I have to share it or I'll forget it. It'll just disappear into the ether and I'll never see it again. So I like one-on-one discussions better because there's more give and take. And um, I like talking to introverts more because I like to talk a lot. I'm ashamed of that. Can you tell? Like, I can't help it. Like, that's just how I am, okay? So yeah, I would say I prefer one-on-one more than group. Also, when I'm in a group discussion, when I'm like listening to everyone else, I start worrying about myself. Like, I start worrying about like, oh, am I sitting in a normal way? Do I look adequately interested in what this person's saying? Like, I just worry too much about the environment rather than focusing on the conversation because I get bored when I'm not talking. Okay. Do you jump into action right away, or do you like to know where you are jumping before leaping? Does action speak more than words? Yes, action speaks more than words. Definitely. I'm pretty jump right away, except I'm kind of lazy. So there are a lot of situations where I just don't do something because I prefer to just sit at home, right? But like, if you know, for example, if I'm like on The Amazing Race and you have to like jump off this like fucking, what are those called? Where you like ride it down, zip line. You have to jump off the zip line like over like a pool of like chomping sharks in order to win the prize. And you know how there's people that will like cry on the podium for like an hour before they finally like get off. I don't understand that. I'm like, you're either gonna go or you're not gonna go. So just make up your mind and like just do it and don't just sit there and like think about it for 800 years. Because so in that way, I'm like very action oriented. Like, I'm like, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna do it, or I'm gonna just be like, nope, giving up the prize, which I would never do. But you know what I mean? Like, I would make a decision and just do it and then deal with the consequences later. It's Saturday. I'm at home and my favorite show is about to start. My friends called me for a night out. What do I do? I don't have any friends where I live right now because I moved recently, so that would never happen to me. It depends on how much I like them and how much fun I think I would have. I don't really do like a night out thing, but if it was like, hey, come explore this like abandoned mental hospital with us, or even just like come over and play a board game with us, like something I was actually interested in, then I would probably like stop watching TV and just put it on TiVo and like go out with them. Because the only reason that I'm hesitant about that question is because night out usually means like, hey, let's drink alcohol and stand in a club with a bunch of sweaty people for hours and hours and spend $800 or something. I'm just like, not, that doesn't sound fun to me. So, but if I think of it as like doing something that I'm interested in, yeah, I would probably go. Okay, how do you act when you're stressed out? I get really mean. I get really cold and um, can't deal with people, can't handle their issues. Um, and if I'm stressed out because of another person, I get very like wanting to run away. Like, that's my, if someone pisses me off too much, I'm like, okay, I'm never talking to you again. And I've done that a lot. Most of my friendships have ended that way, where I'm just like, you did this thing that I can't accept. I'm never talking to you again. Even if it's not like super, super huge, I just can't admit that I'm wrong when I don't think I am. And they can prove to me that I'm wrong and I'll accept it and apologize right away. But if they can't show me why I'm wrong, I'm never just going to apologize just to smooth things out. Like that's just not how I am. So when I'm super stressed out and someone's being a dick, then I cut ties. Same even with situations. Like if I'm trying to do something and it's not working and I can't see any solution to it. Like if I'm learning a skill and I'm not good at it, like obviously practice is going to help and stuff. But if I'm trying to figure some computer problem out and I can't figure it out, I just cut it and I'm like, fuck this. I'm going to make someone else do it because yeah, okay. What makes me dislike the personalities of some people? I hate fake people, like who just hide everything inside them and then try to project the image of who they want to be. I really hate that. I hate, let's see, people I don't like. I hate people that don't listen and do the same stupid shit over and over again. Like, just make really terrible decisions and don't listen to advice and think that they know better than everyone else, even though they obviously don't because they're a mess. And um, I hate people that are like super wishy-washy. Like, you know, I'm old, I guess, but like when you would go to the video store with a friend and be like, hey, what are you in the mood to watch? And they're just like, I don't know. And they just like follow you around like an Eeyore. And then like the worst is they do that and then I choose something and we get home and they're like, this movie sucks. Like that drives me crazy. Like have an opinion. It's okay if we have a different opinion, but just be a person. But also don't be like so hard-nosed that you can't admit it when you're wrong. Like, okay. How do my friends perceive you? Like I said, I don't really have any friends right now. Like, what is wrong about their perception? I don't think anyone really understands me. I sound really emo when I say that, but I just don't. Like growing up, my family would always be like, "Oh, she's so smart. Like she's such a little bookworm. She's so smart. What a smart girl." And I am smart, but I'm not just smart. Like they treated me like I was only academically smart, but had no value outside of that. Like you know what I mean? Like this stereotypical like little nerd girl and like they wouldn't listen to me about personal stuff. Like if they were fighting about something, I'd be like, this is right, this is wrong, you guys. Like they just would not listen to me. You don't know anything about life. What can you tell me, little girl? And even now, like my sister and brother are much, much older than me, and they still don't see me as like a, an individual with thoughts and opinions and needs, and they just don't care. Like just people just don't care in general about me, like that sounds really melodramatic. I just mean like they don't really care about trying to figure me out the way that I figure them out. So a lot of my relationships feel really one-sided because I see everything about that person and I try to engage with them on that level and they're just like blank, like just no understanding of who I am as a person. And that makes me feel very misunderstood. But I kind of went off topic. How do they perceive me? So the book smart thing, I'm seen as bossy a lot of times. I think people do see me as warm. My students say that I'm really loving and warm. People say I'm nice. Do I look nice to you? I'm nice. What people would never say about my personality, they would never say that I am dumb. That's not really personality, but it kind of is. It kind of is. They would never say that I'm super passive. Um, I don't think people would say that I am. People who know me would not say that I'm like. I was gonna say unreasonable, but people might say that I can be unreasonable, but I don't think anyone would see me as like a closed-minded person. I don't think anyone would see me as being closed-minded. And hopefully people wouldn't see me as boring. And see, it's funny because people call me nice, but there's definitely lots of people that would also call me mean. So that can go either way. Um, yeah, controlling. No, that's what I am. I am controlling. I'm not. Um, why is this so hard? Okay, that's enough about that one. I feel like I'm missing something. What would they never say about me? They would never say that I'm like super active. Okay, that's enough. I've got the whole day to do whatever I like. What kind of activities do I feel like doing? In real life, I would sit on the computer all day because I'm on spring break right now, and that's what I'm doing. I'm just sitting on the computer and playing video games and making stupid videos instead of doing the dishes like I should be. Um, However, if I could do anything I wanted, I would travel. I would visit some cool place, like some like historic reenactment village or a science museum or um I like touristy things as long as I can learn something from them. Like I'm not really into like, oh, look at this giant statue. Let's stand here for an hour and look at it. Like I need something to engage my interest. Um, I like adventure stuff. I used to be really into ropes courses, jujitsu, like anything that was combining adventure, exploration, like physical going through. I love fucking like what are those called? Like the you know where there's like clues and you're like searching for the next clue. Uh Something hunt, scavenger hunts. That's what it is. I love scavenger hunts. Anything where I can like I have to figure out how to do something is really fun. I've always fantasized about if there was like a gym that was like a video game inspired gym where you're like in a zombie world and you have to like run around the things and like or like Tomb Raider gym where you have to like jump and like swing on ropes or anything like that. But I've been really inactive since I moved here. um, I don't know. It's hot. It's fucking hot in Texas, and I never want to do any. I guess because I don't have friends here yet, but I I do like that stuff. I do like that stuff. Okay. Yeah. So that is the first 20 questions. The next part is the questions that I posed. And for some reason, I really don't want to share my answers with you guys because partly because I've thought about it so much, I feel like, and I've heard so many other people's answers, I feel like it wouldn't be like totally authentic. And part of it because I really can't see that anyone would care about it. Like, okay, so here's what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the video now and encourage everyone else to go through and answer those 20 and also to answer mine because I really, really, really want to see your answers to mine. And then if anyone requests me to make um, a video about the last 4 questions, then I will go ahead and make one and upload that for you, okay? So I hope you got some pleasure out of watching this. I know it was really long. Thank you for watching and for listening to me. It makes me feel really good. And share yours. All right, bye guys.